Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Felicity here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the year forecast for year 2019. I feel like there are a few themes that humanity needs to work on for the year 2019. The first theme is about learning about coexistence, whether it's coexistence between countries, coexistence between female and male, or coexistence between Earth and humans, coexistence between species or races. And these coexistence themes, whether it, no matter what kind of form that it takes, it's going to have a huge impact on Earth, on humanity in year 2019 or 2020. And also, I feel like there may be, a group of people that feel it strongly, and especially the people who were born in the 60s and people who were born in the 80s. And these two groups are going to feel it strongly in the next few years. And whenever we talk about coexistence, and this book comes up to my mind. The book is called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. And now allow me to give you a summary of this book. Society still functions in 2021, but radiation contamination from World War terminus has left a deteriorating world. Citizens are encouraged to move to Mars, where colonists are given androids to assist them. No androids are allowed on Earth, but some escape certitude and hide among Earth's population. When that happens, it's Rick Decker's job to find and retire them. So, whether you are going to read this book or not, it's up to you. But I feel like whenever you feel confused about what is happening around the world and why these kind of things happen in the world in the next few years, seek answers from this book, because I feel like this book has some truth in it, and the writer was very has a strong vision about what is to come. It feels like this book is foreshadowing what is to come for the next few years. Actually, this book was written in the 60s, but I feel like some of you may resonate with this book. And if you are not interested in reading this book, and you may watch the film Blade Runner, which was released in the 80s. But then I feel that the book really helped you understand humanity, and whether empathy really is the key theme, the key element in humanity, because there's a lot of things to be left in debate. Okay, so first I would like to ask you this question. Forget about whether it's true or not. Okay, think about this. If really there were contamination from nuclear war, if there were ways to move to Mars, planet Mars, would you do it? Ask yourself this question. Would you move to Mars if there were ways to move to Mars after some kind of nuclear contamination? Alright? And I feel like, for me personally, I feel that those who are ready, who are finding ways to move to other planets, it's as bad as those who are developing nuclear weapons or trying to gain control, trying to gain power using nuclear weapons or using nuclear threats. The reason why is because when we are alive, when we are breathing the air, using Earth's resource, the air, the water, oil, and crystals, and a lot of other energy from the resource from the earth. I feel like when the earth is in trouble, it's our responsibility to restore the balance of the earth, or at least to stay behind, you know, because when we are fine and we got provided, we have, we are given the resource from the Mother Earth, and when Earth is in trouble, it's not moral to abandon Earth, even though you only have 50% of survival after some kind of nuclear contamination. All right, so those who are ready to move to Mars, those who are developing ways to move to Mars, it's not likely to protect the Earth. This is my way of thinking, because they are like having a plan B to escape, to abandon Earth. So those who are developing nuclear war weapon, or finding ways, developing ways to move to other planets, are less likely to protect, to preserve Earth, or to help Earth when Earth is in trouble. And so I feel like it's better to have some kind of like, before it's too late, we have to think about the ways to help the Earth. But if things really happen, like nuclear war or some kind of nuclear contamination is really happen, it really happen. It is not likely to happen, but if it did happen, then there's nothing you can do. You know, it's better to, you know, live on Earth, and then when the Earth goes down, we better go down with it, right? So also it's better not to worry about that, because when you are living on Earth, just enjoy it, and at the same time you find way to preserve Earth, like reduce waste, and a lot of some kind of ways to preserve environments. But then you cannot change others sometimes. And also, it's talking about nuclear contamination. It's not up to the huge population. It's sometimes up to the leaders. But then it doesn't mean that just because things are not within your control, it doesn't mean that you need to live in fear. All right. So another things comes up is about learning to coexist. When humans is also trained, we are all trained to understand things like this. Like, okay, if I would like to gain something, then it means that other party or the opponents will have certain kind of reducing something, like there's a decrease in other party, and then increase is on my side, you know, some kind of decrease and increase, decrease and increase. That kind of logic happen in a human mind. But then coexistence is about finding a balance, to cooperate, and then to share some resources, and to share some kind of logic, to share some kind of philosophy. Yes, so coexistence is about sharing, cooperation. It's about trying to find way to work together instead of trying to holding something and then not letting go, and then think in a mentality like decrease, increase, decrease, increase. Okay, so strike a balance. And because when there's some kind of power struggle, whether it's between species, between powers, between female and male, there's no gain. Both parties will lose. There's no gain. Just allow me to read this from the book, alright? It's about the wife and husband's fight in this book, the book Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Alright, so let me read this. So the wife is called Iran, and the protagonist, the man, is called Rick. So let me read it. I notice you've never had any hesitation as to spending the bounty money I bring home on whatever momentarily attracts your attention. This is from Rick. Instead of saving, so we could buy a real ship to replace that fake electric one upstairs, a mere electric animal, and me earning all that I've worked my way up to through the years. At his console, he hesitated between dialing for a thalamic suppressant which would abolish his mood of rage, or a thalamic stimulant which would make him eager enough to win the argument. If you dial, Iran said, the wife said, for greater venom, then I will dial the same. I will dial the maximum, and you will see a fight that makes every argument we have had up to now seem like nothing. Dial and see. Just try me. Okay, so this is about they dialing the mood organ, because this is scientific science fiction. Okay, so they have like this mood organ to regulate the mood. If you do not want to feel sadness, you can just dial the number, and then this mood organ will help you to abolish this kind of feeling. If you would like to feel happy, then you dial a certain number, and this mood organ will help you to have a feeling of happiness. Alright, so also they don't have real ship, because they have real ship, but the real ship is very rare, because the earth is contaminated with nuclear particles, and then the animals it's come to extinction, so it's very difficult to afford a real sheep or the real animal. Alright, so from this scene we will see that, you know, the struggle between female and male, the struggle between species, and the struggle between powers, and a lot of things comes up in this book, and it's worth contemplating. And yeah, so you can see that in the fight, whenever you see couples fighting, and whenever you see two parties fighting, whenever you see countries fighting, it's like they are fighting not against the opponent. Instead, you will see two parties fighting with their own shadow side, because the parties or the people that you attract in your life are the mirror of, it's actually your reflection. And maybe they reflect that you are hungry for power, you are hungry for certain things, for your own gain, your own ego, to feed your ego. And that's why the people or the situations surrounding you are the reflection of the ego, reflection of yourself, to help you understand spirituality, to help you understand humanity. Alright, so the theme of coexistence is really huge in the next few years, and the people who are born in the 60s and 80s will feel it deeply. And next point I would like to talk about is about handcraft, because it feels like in the next few years there may be some kind of financial fluctuation, like finance, the stock market will go ups and downs, and also the property, the price of property will go ups and downs, and it will give a chance for the people who work handcraft. The handcraft industry may have a chance to thrive Okay, if you like making things yourself, perfect your handcrafting skills, and also find way to export to the other side of the world, because handcraft is strongly valued in the next few years, because people are starting to value qualities instead of quantities. You know, people start to value qualities instead of quantity, because when the finance is going down, people has less to spend. When people have less to spend, they stick to quality. They will buy one piece, one item to last for 8 or 10 years instead just last for one season. Alright, so people will pay attention to that. And also, when you have small business, small family business, find a way to export, to find a very reasonable price, the shipping cost. Alright, so try to find a very reasonable shipping cost for your customers overseas, and then slowly build up your customer base. Alright, build up your client base. Also, yes, also it's time to think about empathy and spirituality, because there's a fine line between understanding something and then face difficulty, face adversity in a very calm situation, in a calm manner, and escapism. I see that, you know, sometimes people escape. They use some kind of method to escape the feelings and emotions, and then trying to find a spiritual method, or trying to abuse substance in order to turn themselves away from feelings. Alright, and there's a fine line between going through adversity and then come out very peaceful, because you understand spirituality, you connect to the source, you connect to the great love, to the oneness. And there's a fine line between this and using spiritual things as using substance to escape your own emotions. Alright, so real understanding of spirituality is not about escaping, it's about going through it. It's about the universe, the God, the love source put you in a very, very difficult situation, and then you feel all the pain, all the emotions. Even though you are feeling the pain, you're not going to escape it. You will cry, you may shout, you will have some kind of emotion that you are not comfortable with, but then you stay in that mood and feel it, and then open yourself up. After feeling it, you open yourself up to the message given to you by spirits, by spirit guides, by God, by angels. Alright, so whenever you feel unhappy, just allow yourself to be in that mood. It's okay, because you're humans. You're here to experience different kind of moods, different kind of experience. There's no right or wrong of feeling, there's no right or wrong of emotions. But then, of course, if you stay in that depression for too long, then it's time to seek help, to seek advice from psychologists, from people, from counselors, you know, from medication. So, but if it is just some kind of short-term things, allow yourself to feel, because that is part of life. And then when you are able to receive message, then you will understand the true meaning of spirituality. Alright, and after going through something, after you go through the dark nights of the soul, and you become enlightened, you become like a lot of things, a lot of spiritual things will come to you. You will understand the true things about spirituality. And then later on, when you experience adversity for the second time, or you see others having a similar experience, then you are able to help others. Then you are able to face adversity for the second time in a very, very calm manner. Spirituality is not about shutting down emotions. It's not about not feeling. It's about feeling, and then you understand you are more than yourself. This life it's not just this life. You are the past, the present, and future. That is spirituality. The past, present, and future may happen in different dimensions at once. Alright, we will never understand, because a lot, even though you are on the spiritual path, even though you have been on the spiritual path for a lot of time, for a long time, you never understand the vast ocean of spirituality, because every time, every situation, every experience give you the understanding. Like spirituality is not like you wake up and then you suddenly understand spirituality. Spirituality is about accumulation of experience, accumulation of time, accumulation of overcoming adversity, and come up strong and understand and loving, understanding and understand the oneness and embracing everything that you have been through and everything you are about to go through. Alright? So this is the main theme for what is to come in 2019. I hope that you enjoy this video. See you in next video, and Happy New Year. Happy 2019. Okay, bye bye.